待って。いいね。はい。こんばんは。みなんとろです。今日はですね、ちょっと途中まである時のイベントやってた。どうしても原石が欲しい。原石をつけて、原石をね、早く集めて、何ですか？ゴマをね、それをゲットしたいんだけど、出てきたのはなんとこの弱水という私の持ってないキャラクターの名前なんだっけ？キャラなんだっけ名前。あのキャラが出て、持ってないのになぜかね。あ、そう、イエラン。まあ、バッグの中には2個あるっていう。そんな感じです。あ、これね。謎に。はい。まあ今日も、もうちょっとガチャできるようにしたいなっていう思いもあって、今日はスメールのストーリーを進めたいと思います。あ、デイリーやってないね。デイリーやっていくときに。忘れてた。あ、今日もゆっくりやっていこう。事故るとここのスリルがたまんないね。はい。そろそろスメールの任務にしたいけどできないのかな？多分まだできないかも。よかった。ご飯系のデイリー嫌いなんですよね。あれ、リーウェまで走って、ご飯も作ってあげて帰ってくるっていうミッションが大変すぎる。これなんだ？では2人とも頼んだよ。リュウジ、私が説明したことちゃんとなんとか何の犯人の話？そんな話あったっけ？普通に倒すやつかな。
Squall and Fury.
予想通り。宝刀団ごときがそんな面倒なことしなくても。
Another test subject. Look at you! I'm going in! Huh? Unsightly insects!
早っ。気をつけて帰ってください。終わり？これで戻る。
Behold!
本 当に解決したのか。収穫なし。これってシリーズもののデリなのかな。人以外の場合。暇があったら遊びに来てね。あ、なんかやっぱりシリーズものだったっぽい。これはすべての魔物を倒す。いまだに稲妻の瞳どこにあるか全然わかんないんだよね。めっちゃよそ見してた。事故だね。よっ。危ない。うそーん。そんな脆いからだ。まあ演技がね頑張ってくれるでしょう。あと55秒。終わってる。あとは制限時間挑戦のクリア。あ、だちょうどいいかも。ここね。風のキャラだと厳しいことある。いや、この延期のシールドが結構便利。これのおかげで生きてる感ある。いけるか。やっぱ強いな。やっぱ放浪者が強い。シンプルに。どうしようかな。とりあえずデイリー達成任務報告して。ではい。ちょっと1個だけ変えとこう。ボタン押せなかった。じゃあもう早速。あれ、私タイトルなんて書いた？ 迷夢と虚幻と欺瞞。合ってるね。スメールトレジャーストリート、スメールシティのキャサリンと会話する。家臣短日の輪廻事件から長い時間が経ったが、ナヒーダはまた元気を取り戻せていない。そのため分かってないこともまだたくさんある。この日いつも通り冒険者協会に行くと何かが起こるらしい。行ってみましょう。なんか重い。
Squall and fury.
はい。
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
どういうこと？
Say what now?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the...
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
なんか誰でも
I
良さそう。
see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission.
冒険者協会ではない気がする。
Please go to Port Ormos and convince the airlines there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
ハードル高っ。
Hey,
構成さ
that's
せる
not。any better.
傭兵に個人はさすがにちょっと。
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
今はナヒーダなの。
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often. Ah!
い
So
か
it's
づらくな、そん
Nahida.
な。
Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? From when she said, Ad Astra Abisask? So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream.
アーカーシャも神の夢は奪え
It
ないん
was
だね。
another dream about the Sub-Zerus festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me
Yarda
really
candy.
high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zerus festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday. Huh?
でも現実は。
Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait,
そう。
could this be an example of the emotion known as pity? No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homiyanis haven't allowed
So,
any
yeah, but
visitors
Dunyarzad
after the
行ったわ。
festival, so we haven't been able to check on her.
完全に忘れ
I
て
paid her
た
a。visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time.
全然話してないけど
Her
大丈夫。
condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsol's own withering.
このポーズ、キャサリンが
Our top
攻
focus
撃
should
食らっ
still
てる
be
時じゃん。
figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zerus festival? So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else.
Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
で場所を変えてナヒダと会話を続ける。どこだ？
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have
この
any
話で
ideas
ついに
on
ナ
how we
ヒ
can
ダの
investigate the sages, Nahida?
ことがわかるのかな？
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts.
重要人物の体に憑依する
I've
のは
already tried that. But all the key members of the academia, even the core 30
なるほど。
guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very
賢い。
beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me.
Have
素
you
晴ら
already
しい
cracked
セキュ
the
リティ
sages'
じゃん。
attention?
I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
どうする？学生に憑依して賢者の事務室に入る。
No way, that's too risky.
You
リ
mean
スクを恐れる
it'd
な。
be too easy to get caught?
No, it's not that.
あ
We
あ
shouldn't involve innocent students in this.
なるほ
A
どね。
single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
さすが神様だぜ。賢者側の人間を捕まえて聞
We're
く
in
のは
the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their
めっ
goals,
ちゃ噛んだ。
any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
じゃあ何をすればいいんでしょう。
Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart.
主人公
So
が
you
頑張
already
る。
have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the academia,
でアルハイゼ
rejecting
ンさん。
impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
使えばいいんじゃない？
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots.
Actually,
Oh.
I already have someone in mind.
あ、決まってる
You
らし
still
い。
remember that female scholar named Sataria?
セタレ。
Sataria.
セタリアさん知らない
Remembers
な。
now? Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the grand sage of the academia?
ど
We
れ？
ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now.
あ
Paimon
あ、はい
still
はいはい
remembers
は
the
いはい。
smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu.
思い出したわ。
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Sataria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert
相当苦労
dwellers
したん
around
だ
the
ろうね。
city are working as mercenaries.
The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver, Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
それがセタレの
From
本
the
心
sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore.
確かにとてもいい人
Right.
選
We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself.
そこまで考
From my
えて
past
る
observations, Sataria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city.
他に
Tomorrow
一度ブロッ
afternoon
ク
just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To
ル
prepare,
ーティンがあるとやっ
let's go
ぱ
check out some of
セ
her
キュリテ
favorite
ィ危ない
spots and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
やっぱ行動がバレちゃうんだな。あっち
The wind rises.
This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot. No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics.
なるほど
Talking
ね。
style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom
何が
often
見えてる
echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
キャサリンになった一瞬。
Of course, of course. In
え
Uh-huh. It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
いいことしかしてない。
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
変更運を
Health
占って。
prospects. No problem at all. Oh. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for... Huh? Many tens of thousands of years? Impossible. Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
何もしてないけどって。
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so?
いいね。
Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
なんか別のこと聞いた方がよかったかも。恋愛のこと聞けばよかった。ミスター。
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls?
Yep, it belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Sumeri City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen
声がロリ
carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your
私も
great
陶器欲しいな、家
craftsmanship,
に。
so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I
有名人なんだ、
suppose you
キャ
could
サリ
say
ン
it
は。
all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
もうアーカーシャを超えちゃったんだ
So
ね
is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
情報を集めましょ
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia, so she always comes by whenever she's out in the city.
Nahida, you've really thought of everything.
It's my duty to protect Samari's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the
Ryujin.
ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent.
う。あー
But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get into the academia after their next round of exams.
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
好きならね、頑張れる。
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Guess that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
確かに名前
Thank you
理由っ
so
ぽいね。
much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
Jack!
Squall Fury. So, was that everybody?
Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sataria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected?
いや、ほんとそれ。
Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Sataria face her problems.
あまり関係な
Sataria's
さそうだ
already
けど。
used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I
なるほど
remember
ね。
you mentioned that the Aramites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it
メンタリスト。
now. You want to take advantage of the guilt Sataria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
キング・デシレットの名のもとに攻めれば。
So, how do we set that up?
Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Sataria is also too smart to fall for Innis. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be wary of us But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
はい。
Best of luck?
頑張ります。
We don't know how to possess anyone.
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically be as if you've possessed them yourself.
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does he have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
それは
I've
そう
been。observing humans for a while. I've never been good at imitating them.
主人公も得意かわかんないけど、
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
午後アフタヌーンってことで、こ で、ナヒダの計画を実行する。始まります。この服かわいいね。
Oh, here she comes.
あれがセタル
Satari's
ね。
here.
Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
頑張ります。
Paimon's starting to feel kind of nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
これなんかやるのかなあ、わかんない。なんか緊張する。閉まる。いや、もう明らかにおかしいじゃん、
That's
挙動。
right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right?
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong?
なん
I always
か、
thought they
なん
were
かある
quiet,
ね。
happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
やばい、なんだっけなんかこの難しいね、質問が。ハーマールじゃない
I'm not sure. Those aren't ringing a bell for some reason.
Well, actually, they have many names. Which names I use depends on my mood.
Huh, I see. I imagine that must be hard for the kitties,
納
too.
得してくれたか。
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today? You must have come for another echo of the divine.
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, Could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you.
出たり隠れた
No
りしてる
problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
ふふふふ
The
聞こえた
gods
わ
are asking. Satari,
Why haven't I gone
家に帰らない
home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Sataria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
え
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Wait a second. King Deshret passed away a long time ago. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
キングデシュレと復活のさキョレンが
Insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
お金払った あ、見られてた見られてたっぽいな
Oh, she just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset too.
Well done. Sataria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Harvard-taught theories. In any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Sataria.
She's out of Keem's now.
ゴー
Right
スト
on
インシ
cue.
ェル
Let's get ready to possess him right away.
ゴーストインシェルっていう映画あった気がする
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
えさ
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget? Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better?
前より歩け
Oh,
るようになっ
that's
た
good to hear. I've been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off, I'd love to pay
物
him a
も持
visit.
ち上げられるようになった
Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret
優しいじゃん
believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean
なんか
you've also become a believer of King Deshret?
意地悪やん
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa. Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
いつの間にか役に入っちゃってた。ちょっと言い
You
過ぎたか
really
な。
zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sataria, but once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything. Anyway, let's keep going.
やるしかないよ、もう。
The wind
そ
rises.
したら
Come on. Sataria's already said.
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
いえ、暇な時は屋根裏で勉強してました。
Did you just say attic? I thought this place didn't have an attic. Also, don't you usually study in the basement?
Well, the restaurant recently added an attic. I've been studying there because it has better lighting. Oh,
Misutta.
right. Speaking of strange thing, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Jishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academe.
Please, please stop!
めちゃくちゃ責めるやん。
Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
言い方はもうこうす
She
ぎた
can no
ね。
longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards. What should we do?
This is the
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening in the city.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You...
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
どうしよ
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you
う。
gone
信仰
home?
は自由なのに。なんかかわいそうだね。
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
心に従うべ
You
きで
won't
す。
necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important.
もうそこまで
The
考えちゃ
important
う。
thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
やっと説得できた。
How much do you know about the sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the self-incarnated festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents.
なるほどね。
I've just been
それそ
working
う
to
か。
meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
誰
To fight against the academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see.
一番
Let's
原
use
始
the
的なや
most
つ。
primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
The academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that.
Conspicuous.
I assure you, this won't be a trap. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right,
そ
I
う
trust
そ
you.
うだね。
So,
堂々とやるのが大事だよね。
if I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the god of wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me
神
to
は
find
信
a
じて
god
ない
to
けど、
believe
神の
in.
存在は信じてる。
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side.
The traveler's execution was ingenious. He's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch.
やってんじゃん。
But
や
if
って
we're
る
praying to
ぜ
pray。to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of wisdom and guardian of the
原
scholars?
石が欲しい。
No, no. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
冒険者協会で会いましょう。7時からちょっと待って。7時から24時まで待つ。間違えた。あ、もう夜中3時なんだ。はい。今日レインぶっ壊してない。さてはおサボりしてましたね。いやーもうだいぶやってないですね。これ今3章目
To exchange pleasantries.
あれまだ
It's rather pathetic
あ
to
翌
force a
日の夜
conversation.
翌日の夜扱いになってない。なんか昨日のね、いや本当は先週やる予定だったんだけど、ちょっと声がガラガラすぎて無理だった。
Just to occupy silence. Behold!
あれ登れない。ゴマが欲しくて原石を集めてるんですけど、もうないなぁ。75しかない。ドアがいても。
Oh, you are the other Catherine, right?
That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
はっきりナヒだって呼べばいいんじゃ。
We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine's identity.
Yep,
なんだ
Paimon's
笑顔。
right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that the meetup tonight is just a trap. If something were to happen, my existence may be the only trump card we'll be able to play. After all,
Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking.
パイモンがそこまで考えてたと思えない。
Anyway, enough about that. Let's just make sure to be on our guard.
そういえば、
What do you feel is off?
あたりが異常なまでに静
It's
か。
the middle of the
確かに。
night. Of course it's quiet.
そ
You're
り
not
ゃそう
getting。paranoid, are you?
それもそう。
no, I think he's right. It really is a lot quieter than
Embu?
usual. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets.
Ah.
I'm not sure if this is
Embu,
the case for the entire
Nanaki.
city, though.
今のイベントの
Maybe
やつ
it's
かな。
just a coincidence.
新たきのやつ。
Maybe Sataria figured out a way to not only distract the guards, but also to get everyone to go to sleep early, just so we
I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off. But now that
なん
we're
だろう、こ
here,
の違和感。
let's go ahead and meet her as we planned.
Well, regard
あ、新たきの前のやつ。あー、やった。今日明日ぐらいで。でも実はそして持っている。この祝福でね、祝福で余ったあれを使ってお買い上げしちゃった。待って、まだもしかして余ってる？買ってんじゃねえか。え、あるやん。使うときは来たか。余ってんじゃん。買ったな。買ったな、風呂入ってくる。これ祝福ね。私祝福は買ってるんですよ。祝福と気候は、まあ気候はいつも買うわけじゃないけど、買うときはある。いや、無理かもね。いや、諦めちゃいけない。こんなにゴマ欲しくてずっと待ってたのに、2回すり抜けるってどういうこと？それが武器ガチャか。今回崩壊でだいぶ座れた？なんか来ないな。あー、崩壊ってあれね。崩壊サード。やっぱ崩壊も課金要素がある。え、もしかしてもうない？あっちが6周年なんだ。え、6年も6年も歴史があるの？待って、何これ？ワープできません。任務をクリアする必要があります。はい。
There really aren't many people out right now. Let's hope it'll be this quiet in front of the academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
崩壊と2つやってたら忙しすぎない？あ、でこれな。あ、これいいんですよね。崩壊のアニメ見てると原神もワクワクすっからよ。ほら、ワクワクすっぞって。え？
Too slow. The wind rises.
フレインどこ？あ、上ね。え、攻撃バリエーション多いんだ。上だぞ。もしかしてもっと上？あー、ぐるぐる回っていくんじゃよ。
Behold.
ほんでけ。
Too slow.
放浪者をゲットしてからさ、 やばい、落ちるんじゃないそこ。え、ムビ道なき道を行くんじゃねえ。道は作る。
People doing here at this hour of the night?
Ah, the triumphant hero returns at last.
Eh?
And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
あ、これ
The outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor.
ドットーレ。
If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
王子と呼ぶには早いよな。
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious.
果たしてそう
As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
あれいいじゃんね、誰も。
What should we do? These are all
匂
just
わしてる
regular
よ。
people.
Leave now. You need to get out of here.
But that guy's a Vtuber harbinger. We can't just leave you here.
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru. Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful
さすが
mind,
キャサリン。
you must be the god of wisdom.
あー、バレちゃいました。やっぱキャサリンは重要キャラだった。
This should be far enough. Whew. Paimon needs to catch her breath first. Is the Hida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her.
相手も恐ろしい実力だった。
Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number 2.
ナンバー2ってやばいな。
He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him.
Mad
Satoria did
scientist.
say that someone who once got expelled from the academia came back recently. And that even the sages are wary of him. Yep. Sounds like she must have been talking about the Doctor.
この件の規模を甘く見てたかも。
Yeah.
いや、私
Now
も
that
そ
the
うです。
Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the academia. They're in cahoots with the Fatui. But what are the Fatui after this time? Another Gnosis?
神の心、ナヒーダと合流しないと。
Nahida said
まあ、
we'll
神
meet
の
again
心でしょ
outside
う
of the
ね。
city.
違うかな。
We can't just keep waiting around, right?
調査を続けよう。
You mean...
ティナリ。
Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when we were staying with him in the Vidia forest? That has to be the same project. Even though he turned it down at the time, he might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville.
ここでね、やっとティナリの助けをね、求めるらしいっす。宝箱ある。
Following me.
ザイトゥーンモモとかね。 集めて絶対素材だと思ってたのにいらなかったものランキング入ります。
バンブーン。
動けない。
Incinerate. Ooh, we can definitely write this off as incidental gains.
スメールのラズベリーか。
Squall and Fury.
例えうまいね。え、宝箱が生まれてきた。
Too slow.
Motion to compel.
いや私的にはねバルベリーだと思ってた。そしたら全然ラズベリーレベルだった。え、
Ooh, we can definitely write this off as incidental gains.
占いの絵巻助かる。
The wind rises.
ここでよろしいんですよね。
Hold it right there.
タシフィン。
A blonde-haired traveler and a floating fairy. We've got you all right. Take a look around. You've fallen right into our trap.
Are you mercenaries from the Corps of 30? Did you come here to arrest us?
Corps of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs who don't even get scraps for their work. We are an elite brigade that commands the highest commission rate in all of Sumeru. We're here on the orders of a client known only as the Outcast.
The outcast? An outcast from the academia?
博士みたいだ
Well,
ね
why。wouldn't the doctor just send the
ああ、
Vtuber
ハイゼンの
after
材料の
us?
方。表レインの資材を使ったんじゃない。
Still wasting time on idle chit-chat. We'll shut you up soon enough. Get them!
いや、命知らずすぎでしょ。その主人公様に立ち向かうなんて
Time for your arraignment.
20人量なの。
I'm going in.
Squall and Fury. Bow your head.
てか今年の花粉さ、毎年なんか今年の花粉はこの間は何倍ですみたいな話するけど、本当に今年はやばい。
It isn't over yet. Here comes reinforcements. Think you can
今ま
bully
で
me?
と何が違う？
Teamwork is strict.
The wind rises.
That was pretty rough. Is that what elite mercenaries are like?
待ち伏せはこれだけじゃないと思う。
Looks like we'll have to keep our guards up.
何を出してくれ。
This doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly where to set up an ambush. Going up against smart people is tough. Anyway, let's keep going.
月ボーイング。マスク常用してるから全く花粉感じない。え、マスクしてても貫通してくるんだけど、どういうこと？窓は開けない方がいいってことか。部屋の。で、瞳がある、どこに。上？あ、上です。
Squall and Fury.
あ、目からね。目から来てなってるかも。
The wind rises.
失礼します。ちょっと瞳取らないと。
Behold.
今日まぐれでごまの杖出ないかな。普通
Take it
に
and have
飛ぶや
fun.
つだった。待って。 さらに上に行くやつはない。
The wind rises. Behold!
間違えた間違えた。もう放浪者便利やな、本当に。いきなりを探せ。何を感じながら出す方が愛着湧くって聞きました。
Quit following me.
もう痛み感じすぎてやばいっす。
Oh, it's the traveler in Paimon. What are you two
エ
doing
ラン
back
持ってない
here?
のにエランのやつ2つある。
Hey, it's nice to see you again. Are you doing all right?
To be honest, I'm not doing too well. My Elazar has been progressing at a faster rate lately. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule. He will only allow me to stay here and coordinate other people's tasks.
Oh, Kale.
そう、弱水2つ出た。ふざけてるよ
Speaking
な。
of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him.
Oh, Master Tainari? He just left the Avidia Forest a little while ago.
He left? What?
次は
Isn't
確定
Tainari
なんだ
always
けどね。
saying that he never wants to leave the Avidia Forest?
石が足り
He
ない
even turned down the sage's invitation.
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. He almost never leaves his post.
何しに行った？
No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to delegate all his tasks using a schedule. To leave in such a hurry? I'd guess he had something urgent to take care of. Master Tainari originally studied in the Amorta Darshan of the Academia, and Partis Di is something like the Amorta's research base. Many rare shrubs and grasses have been planted there for research. I know that before he became a forest watcher, Master Tainari once spent a long time conducting research at Partis Di.
A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research Tainari just decided to work on all of a sudden. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI.
体に気をつけてこれ。
Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm used to living with Elazar by now. If you run into Master Tainari, please send him my regards.
Got it. We'll do.
ピンポイントキャラしか使えない。あ、なんか引っかかってるって。なんかの任務でキャサリンが引っかかってる。ピンポイントキャラしか使えない。もすり抜けたわよりはるかに痛みが緩い。でもなんか弓キャラの誰に使えばいいの？弱水をディオナかな。 HP 上がるしアタッカーディオナしかありえなくない？謎のもうね。ゴマのためにこんなに石を貯めてたのに。待って、キャサリンどこいる？アタッカーできる子なら誰でも使えるのが弱水。マジっすか？そんな汎用性高かったっけ？ダメージがシンプルに上がるんだ。なるほどね。なるほど。浜野屋さんはアモスが出たってこと？アモスを狙ってたけどすり抜けたってこと？ 会心ダメだし、効果もシンプルに強い。確かに。やっぱシンプルが一番強いんだな。冒険は大きな歩幅で。あなたはスメールシティで懐かしい場所を見つけた。あ、ジャックス、イアモス、ゴマ。あ、なるほどね。でも、カンウさんいらっしゃいませんか？玉の湯さんとこ。ナモス、みんなが欲しいものじゃない？冒険には相当慣れておられるようですね。あ、これでやっとデイリー受けれる。いるけど使ってないし、爆発要因で使うことの方が多い。あ、なるほどね。ダメージ声がでも寒いから暖房消せないや。声ガラガラになるけど。そっか、みんな確かに最近関羽使ってないかも。いや、私もデイリースメールにしたい。あれ？消えたんだけど。そっか。なんかワープポイント増えた。ヤサリに捕まってるんだからいるわけねえよな。そういえばそうだったね。そういえば星と神を目指せって。
Upon the gale.
なるほどね。ちょっと一瞬戻ってきたけどまた捕まる仕事に戻ったっぽい。これ前からあった？違うよね。はい。あ、展望ポイントが。ナヒーダ、キャサリン。いや、キャサリンって呼んどこ。
Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you.
意識はナヒーダのだよね。
Hey, this was supposed to be a touching reunion, but you're ruining the moment.
Actually, it's very smart of the traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, the doctor has shown that his technology can apparently even control human minds.
マジっすか？
Plus, it's not like you could have known what happened after we split up and I was facing the doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally pass as a patch of sky.
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure analogy.
私も変な比喩だと思った。あー、ゴマも弱水も化け物性能だし、セルにけても許される。確かに、でもゴマ欲しいよ、私。プロフィールにゴマについて語ってるぐらいにゴマ欲しかったのに。まあでも今の新滝のイベントを毎日地味にやってるから1日1ガチャやって出たらいいなって感じ。
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything. All I wanted was to clarify my point.
でももうゴマ出ても賞を使わない気がする。
Nahida, tell us more about what happened. Are those poor people all right?
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the doctor mentioned depositing information into the subconscious, he didn't mean engraving information into their minds. Instead, he did something closer to creating hallucinations. That was still within my power to fix. Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and mind jump away from him just as he was about to capture me.
あれでも使えるね。
What a
確かに
relief.
やり。
The doctor sure pulled out some hidden cards, but good thing we had Nahida with us.
I wouldn't be relieved just yet. I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds, which means we've lost another one of our trump cards. Also, the doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals. Maybe it's only a matter of time until he captures my consciousness inside the Akasha.
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then how do we stop him? He's still at the academia, so it's possible he already started messing with the Akasha.
しょうがないと。
It feels like he's toying with us. What a nasty piece of work. Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him worthy of being number 2 of the Fatui.
We shouldn't give up hope
めっちゃ
just
強
yet.
いやん。
Let's try to find another way to attack this problem.
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to Party's DI? Have you been
展
waiting
望
for
ポイン
us?
ト光ってる。
Yes, I have. I can see the traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were moving in. You didn't come here for sightseeing, right? Did you find any leads?
We're looking for a scholar we know. His name is Tainari, and the sages once tried to reach out to him. Why don't you come inside with us and see what we can find?
Okay, let's just hope we won't get him into trouble.
そういえばまだ何やってないんだった。素晴らしいとこだね。パティサラ生えてるし。みんなここで、まあ私はいないんだけどさ。みんなここでなんとかちゃん。やばい、忘れた。
Too slow.
踊り子の素材集めてるってこと？ニーローだ、ニーロー。いや、なんかディシアもさ、なんとかちゃん許せないな。いや、なんかディシアも英語だと D インや、なんか D やとかになるんだよね。死がなくて。言語最強キャラの一角なのに。失礼しました。
It is you!
めっちゃ声響いた。
It's Hypatia!
懐かしすぎでしょ、ハイパシア。
What a pleasant surprise!
最初に出
It's
てき
so
たね。
nice to see the two of you again.
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest. When we last saw each
Hypatia さんを
other,
ご
she was
存知
still
でない。
training in the... what's it called? Satyavada life?
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come
なん
at
て
just
こ
the
の
right time.
ロリ声に違
Since
和
I've
感持た
come
ないの？
here, hardly anyone has even talked to me.
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, for you to leave the Avidia Forest means... you're not in training anymore? Wait, no. Did you already finish your training and reach Pariporna life?
What do you think? My consciousness has already managed to make contact with the divine.
You did it! Congratulations!
コンサートのアンコールスメールをハイパシアぐらいでやって例えた。ちょい役的なね。ちょい出てきたみたいなね。ハイパシアはすごい。
It's so exhilarating to share this sublime joy with others at long last. When my consciousness made contact with the gods.
ちょい出しですごいキャラね。
What a supreme and unparalleled experience that
震え
was.
てる。どうしよう。
That sounds incredible!
実はティナリを探しに来た。
Oh, all right. Actually, please wait. I haven't forgotten my promise to you. Remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once I gained deeper insights. My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help you establish a direct connection to the consciousness of the divine.
コンサート最後スメールで終わりだった。なんか私が言ったやつは
You
スメー
can
ルだ
do
った
that?
かな。ヒーダ信じてもいいと思う。
I've never heard of anything like that,
今も
but
やってるんでしたっけ、確か。
if you want to give it a try, I'll do my best to protect your consciousness during the process.
なんかもしかしたら新しいやつ
I
だと
brought some spirit borneo with me.
曲の番号違う
This is
の
still
か
a
な。
crucial part of the ceremony.
We're using that incense again?
All right now.
Hold my hand. I'll help you establish a pathway to connect your consciousness.
Okay.
私がいたの
Ready?
年末年始あたり。双子ストーリーが最後。そうなんだ。双子ストーリーの曲。
It took
ちょっと
three
思い出せない
betrayals
か
for
な。
me to finally understand. The world
渋谷
is
のじゃろ。
just an
そうそう
elaborate
そう。
tapestry of lies.
お、
My fury
こ
will
れは
never be quelled.
スカラムースさん。
The first to betray me was a god. My creator. My mother.
まさかここで彼が出て
Valuing
くると
strength above all. She saw no worth in me and I was discarded.
出られちゃったんだ。
The second was a human. My family.
人になってみた。
My friend. Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination. The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest.
え、
Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me.
待って、
Humans,
何が起きたん？
they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounce the world and laugh in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human
低速
emotion.
だに人の感情を捨てた。
Then it will be empty, a blank
空っぽにし
slate,
た方がいい。
and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity. There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
終わらせたいんだ。ポカーン。なんかまさかのここでスカラマッシュ出てきた。
Did we actually just see the Balladier's memories? Everything matches what we know about him. But how
英語だ
is
と
it
将軍の
connected
こ
to the
とマ
divine
ミーっていうのかわいい。
consciousness that Hypatia was talking about?
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic god! Such a noble
なんか
will!
違う神様やん。
Sublime emotion! Alas,
あ、拾ってく
shame.
れた果樹に捨てられ、ずっと一緒だよって言った子供には
If only
先
that
立た
which
れ。
beats within my chest wasn't a filthy mortal heart. Oh, great and merciful God! Please grant me forgiveness and salvation.
Do you
で
understand
も
now?
子供のせいじゃない
I'm
しな。
afraid this is no periporno life, but rather...
しっかりしてハイパシア。
You! Why are you so mean to me? Why is everyone hiding from me? I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor? Haven't I uncovered that light in the darkness?
Hypatia?
ハイパシア暴れてる。
That's how I always thought everything should be.
え、暴れてね。
Have I already lost my mind?
まあわかんないけど。あ、どっか行っちゃった。これはファトゥスの関係
Wait,
で
something isn't right.
スカラマッシュが絡んできたってこと？もう私には何にもわかりません。まあちょっとストーリー進めればね、わかるんだろうけど。逃げろ。ああ、なるほど。え、 これ放送のまとめツイッターで見たことある動画。これキャサリンじゃなかったんだ。キャサリンであって。なんか捕まってない？いや待って、このボス見たことあるな、他で。公式生放送でなんか見たことあるかも。全部ネタバレされてんじゃん。やっぱ公式生放送は見ちゃダメかもしれない。まあなんでいるのか分かってないんだけどね。まあネタバレされてない。されてるけどされてない。
After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here.
今回のはただの意識転移じゃない。
What? You swapped places?
そう予告だから。そうそうそうそう。結果だけ見せられても理解できないってやつ。
Then where is Nahida's consciousness? Where is she now?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be achieved with current human technology. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, "The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies."
Trapped in the sanctuary of Surasthana for good this time.
かわいそう。
Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague.
なんでなんか結構なんか英語英語だとさやっぱりそう男前なんだよね声が。でも多分ファンが期待してたのはその日本語とか聞いてなんか中性的な感じなのかなみたいな期待してたら男前だからなんかすごい。怒られてなんかツイッターで謝ってたっていうのをニュースで見た。本家が日本寄りなのかもね。まあ日本語でやってる海外のファン多いからかも。やっぱ日本語正義の人結構多い。
Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being extra careful. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies. Huh. Paimon knows the moon illusions and lies are from the alchemical divination at the Sub-Zero's festival. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria.
Oh, that
makes a lot of sense. Huh. Do you think Nahida was telling us to go find help in the desert? But she isn't with us anymore. Think we'll be okay?
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana. Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who is occupying the traveler's body, is the Dendro Archon?
そうよ。あれなんでな、日本の声優がクオリティ高いってこと。ああ、なんかでも全然個人的には全部クオリティ高いと思いますけど、やっぱりこういう原神とかアニメ系のイラスト好きだとやっぱアニメイコール日本だから日本の声日本のフレーズとかが好きな人が多いね。そもそもそういう理由がありそう。
The situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, safe to say I have witnessed that for myself. I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side, so I trust you.
Thank you, Tainari.
日本が好きな人が多いん
Actually,
じ
we
ゃ
came
ない
here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
Ah, that.
これは中国のゲーム
While
だ
I
けど
was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined.
アメリカ
All
は
I
日本
know
語
is
やら
that
れたら
that
違く
project
なり
has
そう。
something
確
to
か
do
に
with the restoration of Irminsul.
プロジェクトが世界中の修復と関係してるかも。
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body?
教令員は三平を神にする手伝いをしてる。いや、悟り能力高すぎやろ。さ
Do you have
主
any
人
evidence?
公の悟り能力高すぎ。ハイパ社が見せてくれた神の意識。
So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I did.
残票で
I
すか。
noticed Hypatia's
確かに
mental anomalies.
三
But since
平
her。symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Party's
三
Theai
平って呼んで
and
たよ。
began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aru village.
田舎者感
Now
出
that
ちゃ
you
う。
mention it, I knew the academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't
Kusanali.
expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I
よかった
made the
ね。
right decision by not accepting their invitation.
パディに後押しされたのか
The
も。
Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time.
いや、ほんまそれ
From。your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene. But then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the sage's goals.
あれか。
Right, we've pretty much gone over everything we need to know,
三平
so
です
we
の
should
人。
head out. How about you, Tainari? What are you going to do?
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Rabat. That'll be your... Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit...
Thanks, Tainari.
うむ。神もまた覗いている。三平がヒュッて向いてシュッてすると思うと笑う。身軽にね。神感もありそう。ありがたみもありそう。
Squall Fury.
壊れた。気のせい。力引くぞ。
Quit following me.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebat. It's pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the
す
outside.
ごい。
Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
圧倒される。
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
え？アルハイゼンじゃん。
Over here.
品質鬼没ってやつ。
Oh, hey,
なんかいきなり、い
Let's hurry up and
き
follow
なり
him.
ついてこいって言わ
Wonder
れ
what
た。
he's up to.
何やつ？
Too slow. What should I say? Try this.
Huh. アルハイゼン、ナイハイ
What
ゼン
the?。
ナイハイ
Where
ゼ
did
ン
he
だ。
go?
ナイハイゼンだ。
Uh,
玉の屋さん
how
は
did we
も
lose
ちろ
him?
んアルハ
They
イ
were
ゼン。
just here a second ago.
最近
More
はこれ
airline
だ
mercenaries? Who are they working for this
いや、
time?
配線ね、持ってて
Anyway,
も使わな
traveler,
そうと思っちゃっ
it
た。
seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
一つ配線か。私、放浪者しか使ってないのに。またかわかんない。
There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here.
放浪者のが使わなくなる、そんな
Last
こ
time
と
we
があ
met
る。
at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
賢者たちのプロジェクトに
I
は
have
参
no
加してる。
interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer.
わざわざ俺を探しに来た。
Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the divine knowledge capsule. Unfortunately, everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. Which brings me back to you. And the leader of Ainul Ahmar used the divine knowledge capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something.
きっとまた世界が私を忘れてって聞こえた時だ。
Alhaitham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail.
いや、
What
ちょっと
kind
今
of、person even notices and remembers stuff like that?
まあネチネチ
So
タイプだこい
that's
つ。
your answer. Well, I do work for the academia after all.
あ、ファル
So
さんが
considering
2
that,
つ進まな
it
かっ
is
た。
indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do
まあ、
have
ファルさ
some
んは、
undisclosed information about the divine knowledge capsule. Am I right?
ファルさんは私も素材集まってないから諦めてる。
No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still
ちょっと
prefer to
使い方めんど
investigate
くさ
on
い
my
ね。
own. Speaking of, you two are
やり始
also
めた
headed
ら
to
簡
the
単だろう
desert?
けど。
That's right. We have the same plan as you. But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest
いや
starting
放浪
with
者が
Aru
思考停
village.
止に楽
It's
す
the
ぎる。
largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else.
行く行
Well,
く。
would you like to head?
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
誰かと砂漠行くの初めてじゃない？ストーリーで。R 村に行きましょう。貫突するとファルザン星4短期だとぶっ飛んでるから使いてえ。次誰だっけ？あ、来ないかな？次のガチャの人。ディシアと一緒には来ないか。ミカが来るんだっけ？一緒に来るのが。
Before us lies Aru
神格と
village,
綾香
the safe haven of the desert folk.
とミカ
Whoa.
か。
This
でディシアと
landscape is really something else. What a cool place! Let's go check it out!
ディシアと抱き合わせにミカは来ない秘宝。そっかそっかそっか。そうだね。あ、これはなんか PV で見たやつ。真剣ゼミでやったやつだ。ああ、セノそういえばこれがモチーフ武器だった。忘れてたよ。そうか、セノもさ復刻来るよね、そういえば。
Sino. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
だってもしかしてストーリーで出たの初めて
Do not think you can escape my
持ってるから
judgment
錯
just
覚
because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions
アカ
here,
ン
is
ル
it?
イヤの人
Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me.
そっかそっか
Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the mantra, as well you know.
Seemed to me
ね
more
まだ
like
にダイ
your
ヤモン
own
ハートだったから
personal
よくわかって
touch.
ないけど説明してくれるのかな
Who is that, Alhaitham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
あ
Yes.
教練から独断で離れ
General
てた
Mahamatra
なるほどね
Sino, head of all the mantra at the
あーはいはい
academia.
はい説
He's
明
a
くれました
formidable hunter and the ultimate
学術
nightmare for
犯罪
any who
の
have
領域
committed
において
academic crimes.
彼は誰
You
も
seem
恐
to
れ
have
るハン
placed
タ
a
ー
lot of trust in Alhaitham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth.
何があっ
I've been
た
pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer.
そんなに
Otherwise, there will be
い
consequences.
やまあ契約の関係だ
Has
けど
Alhaitham
ね
done something wrong? Hyman doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I
確
won't
実
waste
犯
my
罪
breath
許せないマ
explaining
ン
things. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
犯罪の一辺を見つけたらコメントしてくるやつか
Very perceptive of
コメン
you.
ト電話
Nothing escapes a
お
mantra
宅のまるま
senses.
るさんコンビニでご飯食べてましたよ信じられませんみたいな
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the mantra's hands in Port Ormos?
確かに嘘
No
をつい
wonder
て
you
いた
speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia,
樹脂
are
警
you
察とか
all
をし
alone
て
in
そ
the
う
desert? As far as I'm aware, the other mantra
怖
have
す
been
ぎる
speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you
二人
from
とも
simply using
他人
your
に見られた
authority
ら
and
困ること言って
resources
そ
to
う
judge me within the walls of the Academia?
まさか賢者の依頼
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh. What should we do, traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them.
いや独立だよ独立国です私は
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over
西谷
there.
来た
Wait, Dia?
ディーヤディーヤさん樹脂漏れてますよカタカタカタ
Great, finally someone that we can trust. You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting again.
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types
ケモミが
love to
二人
fill up
揃
your
った
big brains with self-righteous morality and
砂
lord
漠
your
は
empty rules and virtues over each other. But how
ケモ
dare
ミ
you
の
bring
国
your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru village?
工場の女
It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
始まる二人ともディシアの相手をする余裕がない
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
でもさリーウェにあそっかリーウェも二人いるわよく考えたら
Whoa,
稲
what's
妻
going
の
on?
工場がいない
The wind's so strong. Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have
Oh.
to take cover!
初めてストーリーに出た
Calling for us. Oh, this wind is too strong. Let's get over there.
キャラデザーめっちゃ好きなのに誰も使ってない
Come on,
Candice
you
さん
two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
星5をたしなめる星4の女いやまあ大事なのはね星4だから大罪行幸さんも星4なんで 納得です。気まず監視されてんだけど。
Well, this is pretty awkward. Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun.
成長してもバーコページでいまいちピンとこない。
I can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief.
あ、意外と
I
落
will
ち着い
have
た
to
声。
ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself.
デザインいいよね。
I am Candace, protector of Aru village.
そうなんだ。
Our savior has come at last. Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
本当にありがとう。
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
確かにリサ属性の声かも。
She's so gentle and caring, like a nice older
落ち
sister.
着いたリサ。
Unlike those guys over there.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started.
すご
And
い
now。that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the
でも後ろ
sandstorm.
も可愛いもん。
Oh,
And that goes for
みんな
you
可愛いけ
too,
ど。
Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So,
扱い
which
に
of
慣れ
you
て
will
る。
begin?
リサは落ち着いてないもん
I
よ。
was supposed to be a mediator, but
まあリサはね、
might have gotten a
下
little too
心ある
involved
感じ
just
あるよ。
now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
wait. That was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the
自分で一人に
Academia's
なる
project
道を選ん
planning
だ。
and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the
なんか
issue
スメールの
myself
キャラ
before
みんな
submitting a formal audit request,
目が綺麗。
but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
So they really are up to no
なるほ
good.
ど。
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge.
知識知っ
The
てるだけっ
vows
て
that
こ
we
と？
took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today.
だから自分追放した？
I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the
自
sages had a
己追放。
chance to take action against me. This way,
キャンディスさん、そ
they
の上
can
げ
no
出してる
longer
手をつ
see
なぎま
nor
しょうって距離
predict
感
my
バグったこと言っ
actions.
てくるの。
I will never give up on this
今度
investigation.
出してみよ
There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own name.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
もし嘘だったら、嘘ではなさそうだけど。
Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaitham?
バレてる。
What?
Like many parts of the project,
あれ
this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the divine knowledge capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
まあ目立ちすぎだもんね。服装から。
Yes, I was indeed tasked with investigating the traveler. After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the divine knowledge capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the divine knowledge capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that, after all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this.
You should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy, for now.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the noise you're talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, Dia.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Creatures? In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
こういうとこ行ってみたい
Fighting in a
な
sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted.
人生で。
Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
守ることに対しては長けて
The
そ
winds
う。
died down.
あれだよね、
That
行
means
子
the sandstorm's
じ
over,
ゃない
right?
誰だっけベイド
Candace still
北
isn't
斗と
back
一緒だよ
yet,
ね
though. Is she alright? Maybe we should go out and check on her.
北斗の水
When
番っ
you
て
put
聞
it
きま
that
した
way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
砂漠の中ってこと。でも砂漠の中行ってみたくない？なんかこういう砂というか土でできた家とか行ってみたい。どんな感じなのかな。待って、ここに
Behold!
ここに瞳があるって本当ですか？上？
Swollen Fury!
粘土か。まあ、粘土ってことはつまり土なのかな。あー、これやるしかない。ちょっと待って。ちなみにこれも集めよう。やっぱね、持ってるキャラは一応レベル上げたいんで。
Quit following me.
あー、紙粘土的な。確かに。
The wind rises.
確かになんかあれだよね。藁みたいなやつを土と水で固めてるイメージ。紙とか上にのして。そういうこと？私はそういうイメージ。なんか前そういう動画めっちゃ見るのハマってた。なんか
You
二
even
人の
want this?
二人組の人が空き地にいきなり何もないところから家を作り出すみたいな。なんかいるけど。
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the
そう
entire
いうも
time?
のにイメージを発したことがない。
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated.
こんなとこにハウンドいる。
Leave this round to us. I
D
got
視野
interrupted
使え
earlier,
る？
but now I have something to take my anger out on.
え
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Let's go. 使えなかった。
Let's light it
使
up!
え
The
ない
wind。rises.
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up?
Tip and boom!
The creatures stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
あ、そうだよね。キリがない
What
配
we
膳。
fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children. I am the chief of Aru village.
アンプおじさん。
Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul.
ああ、そういうことか。
These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in our village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru Village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
で、ググってたわ。ノーノーなんとかを。
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Mantra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by...
なんかやっと今回の話でクエストっぽいやつが出てきたかも。これまだ3章か。一応枠として。なんかまだ全然終わなさそうだけど大丈夫？
Too slow.
Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation?
氷学者をブグラマパラと呼ぶ。
One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident.
なんだと?
The academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here.
ああ、バージョンね。
When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night changed that. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to safety. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of Aru Village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
A soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru Village? What do you make of it, traveler?
どう考えてもナ
I
ヒだ。
think so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at our...
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you were able to
Mama-chan.
draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story?
小学者の力を草なりデビのもの。
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scum?
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. Is she really active in Sumeru? The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds.
そう、草なりに聞こえ
She
るんで
might
す。
as
そう
well
そうそ
have
う。
been a god that never existed.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
デビはどこへ行った？略されちゃったかも。俺たちを助けてくれ
I've
た。
spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kusanali. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this investigation. But easier said than done, especially since we don't have any leads.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find
ま
my
た
grandpa?
強敵な少年出てきた。
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to
ほんとそ
call
れ。
him that?
マッ
It's
ド
not
サイエン
like
ティ
he's
スト
a
みたいな
bad
言い方。
person or anything.
The person you're referring to is not a local. Yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Grandpa is just Grandpa. He's my family. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't be a
どうする？
nuisance.
めっちゃ強いかも。
So you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was. But I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
Whoa! Hatham wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
All right.
せーのお願い。
But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
はい。こんな音楽かっこよかった。砂漠。ちゃんと聞いたことなかったかも。それでもストーリーだからこのかっこいい音楽が流れてんのかな。
Sino is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra are like?
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden,
I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various families in the village took turns caring for him so he could survive. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often spied on the man. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. He even noticed Isak hiding in the distance. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again. Only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. However, even so, Grandpa retained his calm expression. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa, could you tell me stories about the stars again?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so much better.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives.
いや、それは思うね。砂漠
It's also my reason for fighting.
砂漠で生活
I
してる
must
人ほんとす
continue
ごい
to。protect this land.
おじいちゃんを落ち着かせたのはナヒダに違いない。驚愕者の普通を癒してたんだ。
Maybe the people have. No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
人間に認められました。
Hey, Isak! Oh, it's you guys! We've cleared everything up! Let's go find your grandpa! Really? Wow!
おじいちゃんはきっと大丈夫。
All right. Let's ask the local residents some questions first.
はい。え？ここで終わり？3章終わるの？ 3章3幕が。突然終わった。待って。そっかそっかそっかそっか。じゃあ今日はここら辺で終わろうかな。ベルカセム。
Too slow.
パさん。ここら辺で終わっとこう。今日はね、4幕は今度やるって感じで。あと、2つストーリー的には2つ塊がやれば終わるのかな。ちょっと樹脂は配信終わったらやります。って感じで、ご視聴ありがとうございました。また動画とか配信とかすると思うので、どうぞよろしくお願いします。まあね、ゆるい配信は Twitch でもやってますので、お暇な方は平日夜とか来てみてください。おつおつ。たまねさんありがとうございます。他の来てくれた方もありがとうございました。Thank you for watching. じゃあ、バイバイ。